incredible story of transformation. And they're also a perfect setup for our next guest, because as you heard, there is now an Abby Wambach Barbie. Yeah, pretty cool. So Abby retired last year from professional soccer, and in her career, she accomplished just about everything you can imagine. She is the highest all-time goal scorer for the U.S. national team and holds the world record for international goals among female and male soccer players. She was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. She's a FIFA World Cup champion and a two-time Olympic gold medalist. Let's take a look. Please welcome Abby Wambach and sports reporter Colin Resch. Awesome, Abby.
How are you?
Awesome.
What's up? Ugh, how's it going?
Here we are.
What's
We
up?
are.
We're in Vegas.
You can't see that goal enough, right? Come on.
No, I can't actually. I feel, honestly, because in the moment, I blacked out, so I don't remember it
Well, I can kind of tell.
in real life, so it's fun to watch back. Yeah.
So we just had Richard Dixon out here. Barbie. Can we see that photo again? Can we see Abby as Barbie? Look at this. That's what you're placing Hermosa Beach?
Yep. That's,
What's the drink there?
what's the what?
What's the drink, or is that a candle?
Oh, it's a candle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like meditating and hanging out with my Barbie. Yeah, no, it's amazing. Mattel and Barbie, what an honor it was for me. I've got 22 nieces and nephews, so they really do need to send me a case of those things.
Right?
Otherwise, I'm in deep trouble with my mom.
So cool, though.
Yeah.
Barbie. I mean, when you're growing up, you're a kid. You played with Barbies.
I was a Barbie fan. I was a big Barbie fan. Ironically, I would definitely cut all of the hair off of my Barbie. Interesting. So when actually I had never seen it, and they unveiled it at the Makers Conference a couple months ago, and it was amazing because it was like legit, like my hair. It's like I'm like touching it, and it's like buzz cut, like real. It was really amazing. And I have a few friends that came over. I was staying on the beach in Manhattan Beach that week, and I had a few friends that came over, and they were like, "This is the first Barbie my daughters will ever hold." And they're kind of like anti-established, like pink and purple stuff. They don't want the princess complex on their daughters. So it was really cool for me to impact not just people in my world, but for Mattel and Barbie to make a Barbie that looks like me. It was an honor because everybody is different looking and we come from different backgrounds, and it's something that I'm very, very proud of.
You just mentioned impact. Yeah. I think most people here know, but this has kind of been your slogan too since post-retirement. You want to change the world. You're not thinking small here, Abby. You're going all in. Since you've retired, your last game was in December. Retirement's been pretty cool to you so far, hasn't it? Doing things like this.
Yeah, I've been really busy. I've grown these things called love handles. It's kind of weird. Every day I go to the shower, I'm like, wait a second, what are those? But it's been fun. I've traveled around the world talking to some of the great CEOs of our world, and talking to FIFA and creating and devising a business plan to, in fact, change the world. And there's reasons why I came to the conclusion that when I retired, I wanted to change the world, and it's because I didn't think that I did it enough, I guess. But there's really a need for it to positively impact your environment, to change the world for everybody, for equal opportunity, not just for women and men, but actual opportunity, equal opportunity for everyone. So often people focus on their own group, their own little niche, their own little minority group, which is fine. But I'm going after the big thing. I think everybody deserves a shot to be treated equally. Kindness, love, compassion, all that stuff doesn't cost 1 single cent to give. And enough is enough.
You're obviously an inspiration, not just to thousands anymore, but to millions worldwide. And you're talking about making this change, and I know one of the keys in that is the inequality when it comes to the gap in pay, when it comes to men and women across most sports, in particular your sport, soccer. We know tennis is kind of caught up, and then they had a hiccup on Sunday with Raymond Moore and Indian Wells, which just kind of adds fuel to the fire for our conversation here, and the comments he made, which, of course, he resigned the next day, which was great. But this just adds to your cause, people like him.
Yeah, well, I think we were talking backstage, and one of the best things about what happened with his remarks and the way that people reacted to them is that 10 or 15 years ago, the conversation would have been very different than it is today. Where 10, 15 years ago, there wouldn't have been an expectation of him to resign. There wouldn't have been, what is he talking about? What's going on here? This is ridiculous sort of conversation. It would have been like, yeah, I agree. Or whatever, I don't care. Now people are putting themselves in positions to care, and that means that there's real social change happening. And it might be on a microcosm, it might be on a very small level, but for me, it doesn't matter. And it has taken a long time. My entire career, I've felt the actual change happen. So I would love to see more change happen. I would love to expand it, not to belittle the gender inequality pay gap, because 76 cents to the dollar, that's what a woman makes versus a man, doing the same thing, having the same position, having the same education as a man. It's not okay. It's not okay anymore, and it's something that absolutely is yeah.
Well, and the staggering number for people that don't know, you win the World Cup 2015, and the team makes as a whole $2 million. Germany wins in 2014, and they made how much as a team?
I think somewhere 38 million?
35 is what we're, 35 to 2 million.
Yeah.
So that's more than just a gap.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And considering the fact that our women's team had more viewers watching that game in the United States than any other soccer match that would ever aired, ever, in the history of soccer. So if you want to come at me with the numbers of what we're talking about,
viewership
data, then viewership, that's solid evidence that we should be getting equal pay, we should be getting equal opportunity, and it needs to be legislative. It needs to go all the way to the government for sure.
That game, you win the World Cup, and that team just captivated the country. So I was at the ESPY Awards, and you walked right past me. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I had to get.
Come on.
I'm just kidding. I talked to Alex Morgan, your
I
teammate
big-timed you?
San Francisco. I had to talk to the Cal product.
I big-timed you?
You were doing
I love
interview
it.
every 2 feet. That's how popular you were. But I talked to Draymond Green of the Warriors, and I said, Draymond, you're up for best team against the women's national team. He looked at me, he started laughing. He said, hey, man, they love us in the Bay Area. They love the women's national team across the entire country. We don't have a chance, Colin. This is the Warriors, how hot they are, realizing how big your team had gotten. You hear something like that, it has to make you feel so good.
Yeah, I mean, it actually gives me the chills, because we also talked backstage about how affecting positive change actually is more impactful when it's coming from people that are actually from the group that you're trying to change.
Yeah.
And so with men, especially professional male players, giving us credit for the things that we were able to accomplish, whether it's through through Twitter or social media or at the ESPYs. It's such a great feeling. And the thing is it's just respect. And that's something that I'm really proud of. It's something that was earned, not just this last summer, but it's been a long time that it's been earned. And that's something that our national team kind of prides itself on every single time we enter a tournament, is not just winning, but winning in ways to gain respect every single time.
You went to the White House in October. You win the World Cup, so you get to go to the White House, and first women's team to go to the White House and meet the president. And what did he call you?
He called us badasses.
No, what did he call you? I know that.
What did he call me?
He called you the GOAT.
Oh, the GOAT.
Right? The greatest of all time.
You know what?
The president called you the greatest of all time.
It's actually funny. He did call me that, and up until that point, I didn't know what it meant.
You're like, you're calling me a GOAT?
I didn't. I was kind of like standing behind him, all like nice looking. What the heck was that? But my agent told me later it's like a Muhammad Ali greatest of all time acronym. So I was like, okay.
It's a compliment, Abby.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
You're the youngest of 7 kids. My dad is the oldest of 6 kids, and he's from the Midwest, and he told me the saying all growing up. When he grew up, the food was hard to come by, so they had a saying in the house, he who eats the fastest eats the mostest.
Yep.
That was his saying. You're the youngest of 7. Was that ever a problem?
Yeah. I mean, it's actually still a problem to this day.
You have a huge family.
I do. I have 22 nieces and nephews. It's, first come, first serve, and you can't get a second helping unless all of your food is gone. But I have a really bad habit of now eating too quickly.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that I'm not going to have a chance at another helping. But and I think that you could see why I was able to build the body that I was able to build. I have a healthy appetite, big girl. Be proud of your bodies, women. Be proud. Even if you have love handles, be proud. But yeah, having a huge family was really impactful, and I think everybody here has to remember you came from somewhere, whether you're the CEO of your company or you've just started as a rookie. Coming from somewhere is important, and whether it's good or bad, right? Those are the things that propel you. They're the dynamite in your shoes that make you go one way or another. And it's up to you. You have the choice of letting your background push you in the positive direction, rather than pushing you in ways that victimize yourself and self-loathing and all that. So use your background, use your past as a positive to push you forward.
Yeah, well said.
Getting a lot of love. I love this. It's like, yeah.
Adobe Summit, the theme obviously this week is about experience, and your life has just been based on one experience after another. And you come out of high school as the top-ranked soccer player in the country. You go to Florida, you win a national title right away, and then you have this amazing career that culminates in you being what most would consider the greatest women's soccer player of all time. When you look back on all these experiences, what stands out more than anything, or is the main experience yet to come for you?
That's a really loaded question, thank you. Obviously, winning championships stand out, and it was never really the medal getting put around your neck. It was like the moments afterwards in the locker room with the girls, just like looking at each other. I mean, I get chills thinking about it, because the process was only known by so few, and the process was long and arduous and hard and grueling. And when you get into those locker room moments, to have the quiet time after those big wins is just, there's nothing better, there's nothing better than that. And then of course seeing your family afterwards, because they were very much a part of the process too. The process is so important, more so than the outcome, and something that I've learned along the way. I like to stay very present in my life, and it allows me to enjoy the process and not be so focused on what comes from the process or what the outcome will be or what you need it to be. Let the outcome happen by the hard work you put in through the process, and you should, in my mind, you should achieve whatever dream you set out to go after. And do I think my next role in life will be bigger than my first? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Of course I do. Why do you think I'm doing this?
Great. But I go back to you inspiring thousands, and I think we've got this video. I want to show you one little girl in particular that you inspired. Do we have that video, guys? Can we roll it up? So that is my daughter Isla, who that was 2 weeks after she started walking, which was about 3 weeks after the World Cup win, and we watched a lot of the World Cup.
That's amazing.
First time with the soccer ball, like, wow.
She's going to be on the national team, of course.
Well, I would hope so, and now that I know Abby
the
Wambach,
all-American dad already, for sure. My daughter is going to be the one.
get them started young, right? But yeah, this is the sort of impact you're making. You know, I use my daughter as an example, but this is worldwide. Do you ever stop and think about the reach that you now have?
No, I don't really stop and think about that, because what I'm doing in my perspective in my life is me. And of course, I want it to impact as many people as possible, but my source of it is internal, and as much as I possibly can, and it goes as far as it can go. That's amazing. But the whole goal for me is to have a purpose internally, and let that kind of come out naturally in love and kindness and compassion and respect for everybody. And my authenticity, I think, has been maybe my saving grace in life. I don't really care if you don't like me. You know, you love me or hate me, I don't care. I just don't. It's just the way that I am. So.
But that mentality, I had a nice little chat with a good friend of yours on Sunday, Julie Foudy, who said, with what Abby's trying to do now, we know how she is. She likes to come bounding through the door like a little puppy. But she's so enthusiastic. What I think she's learning, because you're trying to affect this change, is to temper it just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's take Abby, but bring her down just a notch, because knowing who you're talking to and trying to affect this change.
Well, I mean, it takes time. You know, you have to make a plan. It has to be a good plan, and then you have to affect that plan and put that plan into motion. And so talking about it's one thing, but then putting the talk into action, that's what I'm doing now. I spend so much of my time thinking about this and talking to people and finding out where the big problems are in big industries, in every sector, right? Not just electronics, but also in entertainment, and you know, there's massive issues all over this country, all over the world, that have to be tackled. and somebody has to stand up and do it, and do the work. And so I'm ready. I'm willing to do the work, and I'm not scared. Like, I'm a big girl, I can handle it.
That's right. It's pretty obvious, right, that Abby is one heck of a talker. Would you ever go into broadcasting like into my world? I know you've kind of thought about it, right?
Yeah, I have. I just recently signed a deal with ESPN. So
you did?
I did.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the world of broadcasting.
Wow.
I'll be doing a lot of
leader.
different things, not just broadcasting with them. I'll
Yeah.
be doing some stuff with E60 and Outside the Lines.
Okay.
So it should be fun. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm kind of in a year of saying yes. You know, when you're transitioning from a job to a different way of life, I'm like, okay, I've got to figure out what I like and what I don't like. You know, so I'm kind of committing myself to a year of yes, minus like sprints and soccer. I'll not do those things for about a year.
I was going to say, so you've removed yourself from soccer. Working out is not on your priority list of doing it 4 or 5 hours a day like you used to.
Nope.
What sport are you into now?
I'm into golf.
Golf.
I'm obsessive about
Golf.
golf.
Competitive nature's still there. You still have that with golf, and you got to
Yeah.
hit that little ball and
Yeah.
try to get a birdie.
Yeah,
Or an
I mean,
eagle.
it's interesting because it's a competition with yourself and your handicap. And my dad has a worse handicap than I do, so I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. He is 70 though, so.
That's okay. That's okay.
I mean, I just started playing like really consistently about 6 months ago.
Good for you. I told her I hope to see her at the celebrity tournament in Tahoe this summer or next summer with her golf game. We're going to end on this, though. We've got a soccer ball, and I know everyone wants to see you do something with a soccer ball. I'm not going to do anything with it. I caught a ball from Steve Young last year. I'm going to leave this.
You caught a ball?
Well, I did. Barely.
Barely?
You threw it high and wide, but I got it.
Well,
Okay,
I can
so you
teach
said
you.
you can
I can teach you how to head.
Okay. The header, right? It's what she's most famous for, the art of the header.
How many can we do?
3, 4.
I'm gonna fall off the stage.
You told me you could do 5. 2, 3, 4, 5.
I just pulled my quad.
All right. You can do it. You can toss one to me. We'll go. I'll try to do 1, but I don't.
right.
This could be ugly.
Nice.
No, that's 1. That's 1 and done. I'm 1 and done. I'm 1 and done. You can kick it out there. Someone
Who's
can have a
gonna
seat
catch
here.
it? Somebody's
Have a
gonna
seat
get.
here. Coming in hot.
It may or may not have an autograph on it.
And that's how we do it. Abby, this
Thanks,
was
you guys.
fantastic. Everyone, Abby Wambach.
Cool. We're going this way.